Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to the LFC Transfer Room. My name is Damon. We've got Reese, Stu joining us tonight. The transfer window is among us, and with the season now over, it's all going to be paper talk from now on. From the likes of Fabrizio Romano being alive every single day, to to things coming out from the clubs and things coming out from other clubs as well. Agents pushing for moves, players pushing for moves, and Liverpool sometimes standing still. We're going to all get it all on LFC Transfer Room this summer, so make sure you do like and subscribe to the channel to get updated on all the transfer news and all the gossip that is going on this summer. First of all, boys, season's finished. How are you feeling? Are you a bit more relaxed now the season's over?
No. No. I'm actually a little bit more interested in the internationals now. Just like completely off the cuff thought, Southgate picking the squad that he's picked, I was absolutely certain that he was going to go with his old, tried and tested squad, but he's actually surprised me with some of the people he's picked. So it could be quite entertaining this summer. Really.
Do you think he'd have got away with it though this time?
I don't know.
There's already been murmurs around his squad picking anyway, but this one's like, you got to get this one right.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has got it right, actually, to be fair. He's picked players that are in form, and he's dropped players that haven't, which is the way it should be.
Recently, it was nice to see Curtis Jones get called up, Kwanzaa getting called up, but Harvey Elliott missing out is a big...
that was a surprise, the Harvey Elliott one, for me. There's a few surprises. Harvey Elliott, Sancho as well. He's had a good season at Dortmund, and if Dortmund win the Champions League, how have you not picked Sancho? It's a couple funny ones as well. Luke Shaw, for me, that one's a bit strange. Like he hasn't been fit, he hasn't played, so I don't know why he's even in contention. So he's surprised me a little bit because he didn't pick Henderson, dropped Sterling. I was surprised that the Sterling one. But yeah, we have to see. But I think most people, or a lot of the people who back Southgate, they see it as he got to a final. So regardless, whatever he does, it's like he's the greatest manager since God knows when. Whereas I completely disagree with that stuff. But yeah, it's just how
well, speaking of surprises, Reece, there's a few surprises on today's news. There's also not too much surprise in today's news. The main news coming out tonight, boys, we're going to speak about also MOHAMMED SALAH and his future at Liverpool Football Club. A few more people, including Tsmikas, Nunez and Diaz. Futures in doubts. Liverpool coming fourth in the Forbes most valuable clubs. You won't think it the way we work in transfer windows, but that's the way it is. And we're also going to give you guys at home a chance to give you your opinion and your thoughts on who we should bring in and who we should let go if we do let anyone go. Remember, we've got to rack up that budget to make sure we do bring some people in anyway. So, who's your outs and who's your ins, guys at home? Make sure you do either on Twitter or YouTube. Get your thoughts into the comments. Get your comments up, and I'll get them up on screen as well. So, starting tonight, then, boys. The first news tonight was the Mo Salah situation next season, that he could be leaving on a free next summer. He's got 1 year left on his contract. Obviously, his agent's been quite vocal and quite public with how he feels away MOHAMMED SALAH goes with Liverpool Football Club, and he seems really happy where he is. I know he had a little fallout with Jurgen Klopp, but he still seemed happy last week, and he was happy when he's back in the squad again. Reece, how big of a mistake would it be to let him go for free for number one? And number two, would you let him go this summer knowing that he's going for free?
I think that's a massive mistake, and I think that's bad business. And considering Edwards and that are coming back, that's quite surprising. I think, like I've said before in previous streams, if we do keep him, he needs to sign an extension. That way we can get some sort of money for him next summer. If he's not trying to sign a new extension, then I would get rid of him this summer. Because for me, like I said, just because of how FSG move, they don't always back the managers. So you're going to need to make some money somewhere, and he's probably our prize asset. So for me, that's quite annoying, to be fair. It's quite annoying. And like I said, very surprising because you've got Edwards and people in place now. So obviously if Klopp was still there, I could understand something like that happening, but yeah.
Like Tanya said here, bringing Kudus, Somerville, Cooper Miners, and Trafford from Burnley. So, like Tanya done here, please get your thoughts in who you want to bring in, who you want to let go. Reece said there, he would let Salah go this year with FSG working the way FSG do, but I don't like the way FSG work with that sort of thing because, without the Coutinho money, we wouldn't have got Alisson, we wouldn't have got Van Dijk, but we shouldn't have had to sell Coutinho to get Van Dijk and Alisson Becker. They should have been coming in regardless of whoever goes out, and that's the problem. And this is why there is talks about Salah possibly being sold and people like Diaz being sold, because it's getting that money back, and it's not fair on us as fans, because we're not allowed to see Salah then get replaced by someone who can learn off him. We're just getting a life replacement, and then it's a lot of pressure on the player coming in. Does that work, Stu? Does that work? Would getting rid of Salah, say we get rid of 100 million Salah this summer, and we get another right winger in? How do we expect that right wing to fit in so quickly?
The amount of pressure that player would be put under, whoever that would be immense to fill that space that Salah leaves. In that way, it would not be good. It would not be good at all to let that sort of situation play out that way. But at the same time, business is business, and we do have a very valuable asset, which is the way FSG will see it, on our books in Salah. And if Salah does play hardball or not him, I've got my own opinion on this. I think personally, actually, this is the agent trying to play the club a little bit, going a little bit public with this, because Salah's already publicly stated that he's happy at the club and he doesn't want to go anywhere. So I reckon this is actually the agent just playing things up a little bit. But either way, the way it plays out, if Salah signs on for an extra year and we get somebody in to play behind him and learn off him, that'd be the most ideal situation. If he doesn't sign a contract and says he wants to go on a free, then it has to make sense that we sell him this summer and we just deal with it. That's the only way that I can. Those two scenarios, really.
To me, not replacing Salah early on with like a youngster coming through is another mistake again by the club.
Yeah,
it's shit planning again. It's shit planning again. And I hear so many people saying how well our club's done. It really isn't sometimes. The planning is ridiculous. The fact that we had to rebuild the whole midfield in one summer just shows you how shit planned we are. And this is why we left Klopp short many times because of our shit planning, because we didn't want to spend that extra little bit of money to make sure we had that depth, or make sure we could slowly transition Fabinho out, slowly transition Henderson out. We're getting to the point now where Salah's going to lose his legs, the way like Fabinho, Henderson did.
Yeah.
And it's going to the point where he's just leaving, and that's it. Someone's got to come in now and replace that. And just like this season, it's caught up on us. It's caught up massively on us with that midfield. We just expected to go out there and let go, replace Fabinho with Endo. I felt sorry for Endo because he's not Fabinho level. So he's been asked to be that Fabinho level. In the end, it's sort of backfired on him and on the club. He's been brilliant on most of these games he's played, but he's still not that Fabinho. And we might do the same with Salah. That's the problem, Reece. We're not going to get a like for like with Salah. It's quite obvious, but we need to get someone that is not just as good, but someone that has potential to maybe get near him, because it's going to be hard to get to that level again. Anyway, he's one of the best Premier League players of all time, so it's hard to find that potential out there and say that's going to be that. But just do enough to know that we're not missing Salah as much, isn't it, Reece?
100%.
Is anyone in mind that you have in mind? Also, we're going to go into a bit further on later on about what ins and outs you want to do. Who would be the perfect Salah person right now?
If you're looking for someone who's closest to that level for me, or getting close to that level, is Kudus. That's the one for me, because of the Premier League experience as well. He looks like he's kind of too good for West Ham. Obviously, other options would be Bakayoko from PSG, and when we were speaking on the other stream with Stu on Tuesday, I think Elise, bearing him as long as he can cut down on the injuries, Elise, 100%. Because I think
Bakayoko from PSV is definitely one on many people's books. But again, it'd be a big shoe to fill if he just come in. Maybe if he came in like this summer and had a year of learning from Salah, then let Salah go for free. Then that's sort of acceptable a little bit in terms of the team. Also, not business-wise, but the team-wise, I think it sort of worked. And again, with Kudus, I think Kudus works if you get Kudus in next summer with a release clause of 85 million, which triggers next summer. So that would make a little bit more sense as well. But again, if we let Salah go, are we paying 85 million for Kudus, Drew? You don't need to sell. You don't need to sell, mate. Honestly, that face says everything that you need to know about that right there. So
I can't go for that. It just doesn't make any sense to me to do it that way. As I say, I honestly think the whole situation is just being flared up by his agent more than anything else. I do think the best plan is to go for a youngster. Well, I say a youngster, a 20 to 22-year-old. Yeah, an up-and-coming player. Bring him in this summer, get him used to the squad, used to the new system, and then just play it out and let him learn from Salah. And if Salah does go on a free next year, then we have somebody there who can fill in that slot. It's best of a bad situation.
If that is the situation that does play out where Salah is going to go no matter what, I think that is probably the best thing to do is bring a Bakayoko or Kubo in this summer and then let him learn under Salah from the rest of it, and then let Salah go next year. If that is the case, business is, if business fucks up, then business fucks up. I'd rather the team on the pitch be successful and that team be ready to go, because just chucking Bakayoko next year or Kubo in next year, that's too late for me if Salah goes. Sell Kostas, I think Kelleher will go, and I think a young centre back and a quality CDM and a right wing and challenge Salah. It's funny, the CDM thing makes me laugh because last year when I said I needed a proper CDM, even though we got Endo in, I got hounded out. And now everyone sees we need a proper CDM. It's funny how things turn around and swings and roundabouts happen and things plan out. Sell Salah and replace him with Bakayoko. Could not allow him to run his contract down. Surely at his age, we will not be enhanced financial deal. Ian, we just said that we agree, half agree with that, Ian, what we just said there, because we do agree that maybe bring Bakayoko in, but if we were to sell Salah this summer and then bring Bakayoko in as well, it's a big step up for Bakayoko to be that Salah replacement, and maybe just if we have to let Salah go for free and have a year Bakayoko running underneath, and that could maybe the best option for football and for actual us challenging for titles rather than the business. I don't give a shit about if we make money or not. My mind is let's go win titles under slot. Bakayoko has to be looked as a replacement for Salah. Cheers, everyone. The World Super Soccer Power, JK and Never Walk Alone. Bakayoko 35 to 50 million, Damon. Damon, if you were slot, would you move Trent into midfield if we get a proper 6? I'm going to do a video on this, actually, Paul, about Trent. And I still want Trent as a right back, especially where slot plays inverted right back. And the thing is with Trent, people say, Trent can't defend. Trent can't do this. But if you put him in field alongside number 6, it's going to be even worse if he can't defend. If he can't defend, trust me. And funnily enough, Roy Keane actually said it on the overlap. The recent episode overlap, he was shocked that they put Trent into midfield, knowing that I can't defend at these certain things. I think you lose half of the game. If you put Trent into midfield, he's not as free as he wants to be. He doesn't see the 180 of the pitch. He don't get his diagonal balls. He don't get his crosses. He's a bit more limited in midfield the way he wants to be, where his players right now. All we need, I think, perfectly. Yeah, I know you meant as an 8, but an 8 you still need to defend, Paul. A 6, you can't expect the 6 just to cover absolutely everything.
Maybe not, though, man. Depends, because it depends on the tactics as well. And for me, at right back, how I see it is his body language suggests he doesn't want to defend at all. So, unless
I think proper DM, that inverted right back works. One that can do legs and that can cover that ground. It worked when Fabinho stepped up. When we actually changed that inverted right back with Trent, it worked at first because Fabinho was started to play well before we let it go. He started to play well, and we was on the best form we've been on for a long time. We won near enough every game left of the thing. The only way Trent works as a number 8, I think, if we're playing lower block teams against the big teams, we're gonna get out muscled in midfield.
And I also think,
and that's where I worry.
from what it looks like, he's been picked as a midfielder for Southgate. If England do really well or win the
against
tournament,
certain teams, I think it's against like Malta and stuff like that.
And he plays in midfield, there's going to be more pressure for him to get put into midfield if England have a good tournament. And he's one of the main reasons. If he is one of the main reasons as to why England do well in this tournament this summer, I think there'll be more pressure to put him.
I would be surprised, Reece, if I see Trent in midfield against someone like France in the Euros. Very, very surprised. Very surprised. And especially the way Declan Rice has been moved into that 8. An 8 for me is like a Declan Rice or a Gerrard. And I don't see Trent being that. I think he's too attacking minded. But I think he can be more. This is bad to say. I think he can be more attacking minded and then very right back than he can be in midfield. Just because of how disciplined you've got to be in midfield. It's a completely different position. Unless he plays at number 10. And again, that's where your freedom happens at number 10. But again, you're taking half of his game where he's not going to do the long balls, he's not going to do this and that. I think I would still play him at inverted right back, especially on the slot, because slot likes to play like inverted right back. And I get 2 athletic players there, with one's McAllister alongside a proper DM, and one that can work their ass off. And that's what we need. It works at Feyenoord with Weifer. It works with Bakayoko going forward, because Bakayoko doesn't defend. And it works with Feyenoord. So we'll see what it does with Trent. I get Bakayoko and Kudus based on Diaz and Salah. Bradley is a better right back than Trent. A defending right back, I'd say so, yeah. I'm moving Trent to 8 position, and inside it on X today said Diaz fit staying. We're going to talk about that right now, guys. I'm playing midfield 3 with Trent, Mack, and top of that would be absolute suicide if I'm honest. Never give up. There'd be no defending in that at all. We'll be asking Maka to do 8-6 at the same time and not do what he wants to do. I would wholeheartedly like Cavalier in behind the front or on the left. Yeah, we'll speak about Cavalier later on and who we want to get in and who we want to go out. Do we actually know what Nunez is thinking about his future at the club? And come to that, the club's thoughts on Nunez. It's a very interesting thing about Nunez. I'll go into Nunez actually now because according to David Lynch, who brought the Salah news as well today, that Nunez is not expected to leave. And there were reports last week that Slot is interested to work with him, Menti. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Sorry. Better than ever, but is he yet? Let's blame it to American time. It's American timing in it. That's what it is.
Oh my gosh. I live 10 minutes from the car shop. As soon as I get near my house, there's construction. So I just sat there. My bad.
So Nunez not going Menti. Also Salah, I don't know if you know about the Salah news, but Salah may leave next summer for free, according to reports by David Lynch. Also, Diaz, his future is unknown. At the moment, it's 50-50 with Diaz. Out of those 3, Salah, Nunez, Diaz, which one would you be, I won't say happy, but wouldn't be as bothered seeing leaving this summer?
For me, it has to be Diaz. Just because even as a fan, how I look at it is like, if you have doubts about being at a club, for me, if you want to go, just go, because I'd rather have players that want to play for the club. But yeah, it had to be Diaz. And Salah going on a free is kind of crazy, just because I don't understand why we always wait for players to go on a free. I'm not trying to be crazy, but I'd rather sell Salah this summer, get something out of it, than let him walk on a free. Like, these are businessmen, so let's actually do some business. We can't keep doing this. And for me, unless it's like Alisson's my only untouchable at this point. Besides that, it is
not Virg, no, not Virg.
I mean, there has to be a time where, like, take emotions out of it. Virg is great, but like next year, what if his value goes down? We don't know. I'm just saying he's at an age where it's just like this. Like, I don't mind him staying for a year or 2. That'd be great, but just sign a contract so we get something for him. Unlike if Salah walks for free, I'd be actually so mad. That'd be terrible business.
I think I'd be mad if you left for free, because I know what FSG are like, and knowing that I need that money to get a budget. But thinking footballing wise, Reece made a good point earlier about if we bought someone like Bakayoko in this summer, learn from Salah for a year, and then slowly transition Salah out for free. That's probably better footballing wise in terms of on the pitch, but I don't want it to affect the budget. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like what's best for us and winning titles. And I think a year of Bakayoko under Salah is probably better than Salah going this year for 150 million, for example, because we don't see that 150 million. I don't give a shit about what the money comes in. I don't give a shit about the business. I give a fuck about going for titles and winning trophies.
Yeah.
Would you say that's a better option? Bakayoko there, but
honestly, for me, like I rate Bakayoko. I used to like him a lot. Just for me,
an example, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Like I'd rather that's something just because they're teaching someone like a successor. But until I actually see them sign someone, like I don't know if I want to believe it. Just because what we're saying is like it makes sense as fans. Just like when we used to say we need a DM. Like this is like natural things to think of, but until we sign these players, I just put everything out. But yeah, anyone that could train under Salah for a year, that's knowledge that's worth, I guess you could say, going on a free. But yeah,
and the worst thing is, what we know what would happen was we'd sell Salah for £100 million, we'd buy a DM, buy a left back, buy a centre back, and we'd say, Harvey Elliott, can you cover there for a year or 2 years? And that's exactly what happened. That's what's happened this year with Fabinho. Mac had to cover.
Yeah. Harvey's not a bad right winger. Just Klopp, he was doing well at right wing, and then Klopp put him in the midfield. But yeah, he's a pretty good winger.
I think he's better in the midfield for me. So
I don't think he's a winger for Premier League.
Okay.
I think he's a bit too much. You got to be a different kind of beat on. He ain't got the attributes for a proper winger.
Yeah, he lacks the pace for me. He lacks the pace on the wing. He's more creative in the midfield.
Yeah. Steve says here, bare minimum this summer, starting 11 needs to be at least centre back, LB, and left back and DM, striker possibly as well. See, Steve, please make sure you keep that attitude, because when this bare minimum comes around and we don't get the bare minimum, people need to remember that we don't get the bare minimum, because they seem to forget that they don't get the bare minimum. Because we get distracted, and everyone's saying this bare minimum is left back, centre back, DM. They're the three and must get first teamers. And people say, no, we'll get a forward as well for backup and things like that. We need to get those priorities in. We can't leave priorities out all the time. It's not fair on the manager that's going to come over. I don't want Slot to be the fall guy the way Klopp has been. I don't want Edwards to be a fall guy. I want Hughes to be the fall guy. I want us to be ambitious off the pitch as much as on the pitch. It'll soon transition through our ambition. Don't need to defend the way Slot players keep the full-backs. Oh, well, I'm excited if we don't need to defend season. I don't know what football manager you've been playing Never Give Up, but it must be on amateur level.
Everyone's got to defend. You always got to defend at some point.
If you don't have defence, you don't win titles, I'm afraid. You really do not. Sel Kanate, Diaz, Nunez, Slot had the second best defensive record in Eredivisie, but it's a bit different coming to Premier League there. Jay Moose, he might look good over there, but we've got to see and let him transition fully. We can't let Salah go for free, said Philip. I think Diaz has been better than Salah this season, just favouritism. Diaz has had his moments. I think he sort of dropped off and then he couldn't get his form back, I think. He's had moments, obviously, against the Man City game as one being definitely the standout of them all. Needs cash in on Salah if we can. Salah, Van Dijk signing 2-year deals this summer with option to extend for another year. Difference, there's not many better than Virgil, but I think there's a lot better than Salah. Salah is washed. There's a lot of better people than Salah. Never go up. Why are you not a scout for us? We don't need to defend, and you also think there's better people than Salah out there. So please, if you can get yourself into that LinkedIn post and get a set piece, and then maybe work yourself up to a scout in Liverpool, please. We need someone like you up there to scout these players. If Salah doesn't sign an extension, I'll drop into the 21s there, Jace. A bit brutal, but I like brutality a little bit. We need 6 attackers going into the season. We now have 5, but we need another. Just before we do go on to a little bit more news, Stu, also the Luis Diaz situation.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do with Luis Diaz? Because the words coming out today on David Lynch that they're a bit pessimistic about his output, and this is what a lot of us been talking about Diaz. I think that's the only thing that's really letting him down is that final third.
Yeah,
he can take people on, he can drag people away, but when he's that last final pass or that decision making or that shot, it's not good enough. At 27 years old, he's not got potential to really get better, has he? So would he be the one that you'd go to as well to get out? Or
I wouldn't be surprised if he did go. It's a question of obviously valuation, but also I think the way he's in an unfortunate position where he's going to be compared to Mane. And Mane is probably one of the most successful left wingers that we've ever had. And he's always going to be compared to that. Now, when Diaz first came in, he hit the ground running and he tore it up and was absolutely amazing. But there's no doubt his form has maybe reached its ceiling, possibly. I know he's had an up and down year, personal issues going on with his family and that, but there has been a lot of opportunities this season where he started hitting a bit of form and then he lost a few chances here and there, and you just start to wonder maybe he isn't the answer to what I consider to be the Mane issue, because he was the best left winger that we had, and I don't think we really have truly replaced him. So if a decent offer came in, it has to be a right offer. I'm thinking at least 60, 70 million for him.
You'd say yes, and let's get someone else in. Or would you get someone else in? Would you work on like Gakpo or Nunez going to the left?
Gakpo, I'll quite happily keep out on that side. Same with Jota, but obviously Jota has a lot of injury concerns, so I'd probably reinvest it in maybe somebody younger. Another one, perhaps to learn that side of the game and do a double whammy, have like a Bakayoko and his opposite on that side and have as like a season-long project, maybe. I don't know.
So why not have Szoboszlai on the left for me?
That's another
option. Still buy someone, but we got to remember that he plays naturally. That's why he played, I think, for Hungary and for RB Leipzig, and I think against Wolves when he came on, he was actually on the left, and he looked like quite creative. I know it was only a brief cameo, but
I think you got a fan here, Dries, because they say the exact same as you here. Kudos in, Diaz out, so left wing. William says, can honestly say that there's nobody that are desperate to sell. We like the squad. It's definitely a decent squad. It's definitely a decent squad to start with, and it's definitely got some absolute talented players to work on there, and the youngsters as well. But we still need some players in, and we still need some. Regarding the Diaz situation, Stu, it's hard. Like you said, he's replacing Mane, so it should be. It's hard to compare to Mane, but it's got to be compared to Mane as well at the same time. That's the level that Liverpool should be. Yeah. That's the levels that Liverpool wingers should be. That's the level Liverpool players should be. You know, we're Liverpool Football Club. You know, we're up there with Manchester United, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea. Those sort of standards, we've got to keep those standards up. And if someone reaching those standards, unfortunately, you've got to let them go. It's a brutal life. It's a brutal sport. But that's the way football is. If you're going to be elite clubs have got to work elite-minded. They've got to expect the best and want the best. And this is when it comes down to transfers. We've got to go for the best. Whether the best now at that point or potential to be the best, they've got to go for them. And that's the thing. That's what Liverpool haven't been doing at times.
Oh, I agree. It's let's say it is a brutal business, but I would not be surprised if he ended up at Spain, somewhere in Spain this year. To be fair,
the biggest news today, Menti, that came out was I'm sure you'll be absolutely delighted by this news, and that is Liverpool have come fourth in the Forbes most valuable club in the world. How does it feel to have such a valuable club? Do we get a trophy for that?
I mean, I know how FSG is. I'm American, so I know how they run with these teams. It's just a business. At the end of the day, it's not like they don't have money. They have the money. They just kept selling these spin to, the fans that always fall for this, where it's like, all right, closer towards transfer, you just start hitting every single player, like some crazy nice player, just for them to get the bare minimum. For me, it really doesn't matter just because I never see these owners actually try to invest. Like this transfer window is probably the biggest for the club, I say, in a long time, just because if they're not actually ambitious and like have some high standards, this is going to affect us long term. So as long as they're investing a lot of money this summer, that'll be good for us. But that nonsense where they're like, okay, there's no money, that just gets on my nerves. Fans got to like open it up a little bit. They're worth so much money. We just have to be ambitious. I just have to see something, because I'm tired of the same cycle every year.
And this whole thing of like we're going to break FFP rules, we won't break. Spend a little bit more, we would not break FFP rules. We're in a good situation.
But
No,
Liverpool's
Liverpool's
the
no
last
way.
team that's gonna break FFP. Liverpool don't have to worry about that. We've been following that for years. Liverpool don't have to worry about breaking.
So funny, Reece, is we wouldn't even need money from the owners the way like Man City have done, something like that, or Chelsea have done, because Liverpool Football Club have just proven there, the fourth most valuable club in the world. The money we make alone commercially is up there with Manchester United. Do you think Glazers give money to Man United for transfers? They make it themselves. We make just as much as Liverpool, as Man United commercially, and the money we make. I'm not saying we have to. And by the way, before anyone jumps the gun, we don't have to spend Man United levels. We just need to be a little bit closer to them in terms of spending when being ambitious.
Yep.
And when we have to go get a £100 million DM, go fucking get one. If it means us winning the league, you got to do it. You know, and it's proven to work as well, because when we had Coutinho, we paid 85 million for Van Dijk, we paid 70 million for Alisson Becker. You know, you might look up and like, oh, you don't need that sort of money, but sometimes you do. Sometimes you've got to pay for it if you want that class, and that's what. And Never Give Up says, I tell them all. Nunez couldn't start my team. You are moving mad tonight. Yeah, Never Give Up. Definitely moving mad tonight. I hope Gravenberch has learned how to run in pre-season. I've never seen him break into a jog so far. I'd be interested to see what Gravenberch would be like in an 8 next to a DM and push McAllister at number 10. I'd be very interested in that. Just an idea. I'm not saying that's what I want, but just an idea. I think Gravenberch might be a bit suited more to a box-to-box and being pushed further up than McAllister would be. Incoming's right wing and DM, no centre back needed. Should give Sepp a chance, says William. Sell Kelleher and bring in McCarthy or Hennessy on free, says Steve. De Gea's on a free as well, Steve. If you want De Gea, my name backing up Alisson Becker. I'll backing up Adrian, whoever wants to back up. We bought Szoboszlai last season for 60 million, had to loan money out to pay for it. I mean, there you go. I said earlier, we had to loan money out to get 60 million for Szoboszlai. Imagine us needing to loan money out when we're the fourth most valuable club in the world. Thoughts on company to Bayern Munich? Don't give a shit. Sell Kanate, bring in Tobido, better availability record. Lucha has by far the most lowest goals per minutes, played among the front five, way less than Darwin. Well, again, Paul's absolutely right there. We spoke about Diaz earlier, about his output, and that's where the doubts are coming from at the club. The output that is coming out. He's not really doing enough in the final third to warrant him staying, and people like desperate for him to stay. If he goes, I think no one will bat an eyelid, but if he stays, no one will bat an eyelid. It's just one of them, I think, at the moment. Salvador, FSG will never spend big. John Henry enjoys his free visits every Christmas Eve. I'm surprised he came last week. I think he had to. So tonight's major topic, though, we're going to talk about is ins and outs. Who do you guys want? Who do you want? Who would you like to see leave, and who would you like to bring in? We're going to go through all the. I've got four positions written down, 4 major positions written down. We need to be looking at. I've got left back, centre back, DM, and I've put a forward up there in case whether you want the right winger, striker, or left winger. It's definitely all up for debate, because we've been talking about left wingers tonight. We've also been talking about right wingers, but there's also strikers a possibility as well, because if Nunez isn't firing and Jota's always injured, we need a striker, and you can't rely on Jayden Dance to be the front guy all season. As much as I wanted to see him coming in, it's hard for a youngster to do that. This year gives Slot a chance to work with what he's got. Next year we'll know where to best invest. I don't on this work with what you got anymore. So first of all, boys, I've got a few names written down, and I want you to give me. I've got five left backs written down. I want you to give me your out of these 5, or maybe a different one. You guys in the chat as well get involved in this. Either one of these 5 left backs I've put down myself, or would you be suited to anyone else? So I've got Nuri from Wolves, obviously in there. Alex Grimaldo from Leverkusen. I've got Theo Hernandez as a little ambitious approach there at AC Milan. Also Tyreek Mitchell and Anthony Robinson for Palace and Fulham, respectively. Nente, are you taking any of them, or have you got one in your mind yourself?
Honestly, there's 2 in there that I don't mind. It'd be the Nori from Wolves and then Anton Robinson. just because I think he was the best left back in the Premier League. Whether y'all want to hate to admit it, check the statistics. He's a boss left back, but I say those two are the best. But if we want to go younger, it'd definitely be the guy from Wolves for sure.
No, yeah,
Just preference. If you rather want someone now or like for long term. Sorry to cut you off.
You're definitely gonna get a Robinson shirt, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%. He's a beast. I'm telling you. He's gonna be motivated for the World Cup in America. So, and he's gonna be in his prime. So why do you not want to? He's always fit. He doesn't get injured too much at all. Very, very athletic. Very fast too. So what Robertson used to be. So.
You know what? He's definitely up there in my top 3 and what I've written down. Stu, who are you going for out of those, or have you got anyone else in mind?
2 others that I got in mind would be Kirkaz from Bournemouth, who I think has had an absolutely excellent season with Bournemouth, and he's very, very talented, young, again, athletic left back. And the other one is the guy at Atalanta, Ruggeri. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce his last name. He played in the final last night, and he held his own massively. He was very impressive last night.
And he does get forward.
And he does, yeah. And he's a strong, tough left back. And again, young. I think he's only 20. Going a bit 20. 21 years old. So, again, right, perfect in the profile for us.
Reece, which one are you going for then? Any of the 5 I said are?
Similar to Minty, I would say Robinson or Nori. I'm kind of leaning more towards Nori. But I think they're both, you got to remember, they're both got Premier League experience as well. Both look very comfortable going forward and defensively as well, especially Nori, from what I can see. The way he's kind of keep the ball and go and kind of drives kind of into the midfield, that we kind of need that composure from the back, because then it can push the rest of the team up as well. So one of those 2 for me would be my preference.
I think this season there's been some decent left backs in the league.
Yeah.
It's a shame that we've had ours either injured or Gomez having to cover at left back. But Anthony Robinson and Nuri had the 2. But I'd also look at Tyreek Mitchell as well, because I think Tyreek Mitchell at Palace has been absolutely incredible, to the point where I think he deserves a call up for England as well. But I would be leaning towards Robinson and Nuri as well, like mentioned Reece, I think. But I don't know which one to go to, because I was really, really impressed with Robinson the 2 times we played him, and I've seen him a few times as well more. But Nuri, I think Nuri seems a bit more balanced to what we're going to be looking for than Robinson does. But you know what? I can't choose between the 2, if I'm honest. Grimaldo is definitely a good option as well as Fernandez. I think Hernandez at AC Milan is definitely a big. I know I've written him down, but I don't think we're ambitious enough to do anything like that with Hernandez. But yeah, I think Anthony Robinson would be my guy if I had to choose. I'd be on Menty's side on that. And Menty's made a good point about the World Cup coming in the USA. It'd be buzzing to play for that. So he's got a big point to prove. Obviously, that's in 2026. So he's got a season to play that before that happens. Going into the centre back then, Reece, I'll come with you first. The players I've written down, they've got Lenny Yoro, obviously the Japanese centre back, who could be going to PSG, Real Madrid for 60 million. Is it Real Madrid is going for 60 million? That was the words, and then maybe PSG.
PSG, yeah.
PSG. I think Real Madrid wanted him first, didn't they? But PSG look like they're getting him now. But we could make us back. We're watching him apparently. We're watching him for a long distance for binoculars, like we always do. We watch plenty of players. We tend to watch on YouTube. I think we watch from YouTube. I don't think we watch from the stands most of the time. We watch on YouTube. Gonzalo Inacio, William Pacho, Piero Incapi, and Tosin Adarabioyo, who could be going to Man United for free. By the way, it's a free, so it makes sense for FSG to make. Reece, where are you going with centre back then? Is anyone
Insensio would be my number 1 for me, because I think he's the right age. But I also am more looking at the fact that he's left-footed. I think it's kind of important to have a left-sided centre back and a right-sided centre back. I think we haven't had that. I think the last time we had that was it Agar, which was a long time ago. That would be my number 1 choice. If not, my second choice would be the player you mentioned who United might be able to get for free, because that would be good business. You wouldn't even have to spend and that's kind of more up FSG's street. So yeah.
We just let go probably one of the best free transfers of all time in Joe Matip. So I won't say no to it. I won't say, oh, that's been tight, FSG. There's some deals I say, yeah, it's a very, very good deal. That I think Endo at 16 million was a good deal for what we should have bought him for, but he shouldn't have been the main CDM. That's the problem. Menti, do you agree with the Fulham centre back, or are you going for someone else? You said Inacio as well, didn't you, Reece? Inacio is another one.
Yeah, Inacio, yeah, number one.
Yeah. Menti, what do you think?
Does the centre back have to be left-footed, or is that what the outlets?
I think that's been. It got reported today by Fabrizio Romano that they definitely go for left centre back. So probably yes, I'd say so. Yeah.
If I had to choose, I will probably take Lukeba, Castel Lukeba at Leipzig. We should have got him before he went there when he was super cheap. But when you see him play, he's like very powerful with the ball. He's composed. Like, I think he's a Liverpool player. He plays like a system like Liverpool. He's left-footed and his passing is awesome. So I say Lukeba. We should have had last year, but we didn't have Edwards. So I don't know who was on the data team.
I think Lukeba is a very, very good shot. I don't think of him earlier. He's a beast, isn't he?
He's a beast.
So
when I watch him play,
I definitely add him to my list, but I won't be adding to my list. But he definitely should have been on my list. He's definitely a player we probably will look at, and he's definitely, in terms of stats as well, he's very high up on the stats. But again, sometimes stats only take you so far. If they get you so far when they come to Liverpool, he might just choke at any opportunity. Is he willing to? Is he up for being the Van Dijk replacement in the end? Because that's another big shoes to fill. We're also replacing Salah. It's Van Dijk replacing. It's a huge hole to fill. The club won't sign a left back and centre back, in my opinion, unless Tsmikas and another leave. That's the problem, then, isn't it? Never give up. You're very true there with that. What you just said, Dex. If that's your opinion, that might not sound that. It's a big problem that there's doubts that we might not sign them, because we should be signing them regardless. Tanya, Ainari, injury prone. Again, the injury prone situation rules us out for a few players that are very, very good, like Alissi going forward as well, and Neto is another option going forward. But it's hard. You can't get players like that unless you're guaranteed availability is the best attribute you can have. Tony says Pacho, and Tony said Anthony Robinson for left back. Pacho says John as well for centre back. We need a quality in depth. No good having a great first 11 and substandard players for the bench. That's what Klopp had for a long time. Unfortunately, that's what he had for a long, long time. He had a very, very good first 11, and he was looking back at his depth, and he had either youngsters or biscuit legs on the floor on the bench. So there's only so much you can do with Klopp. So, which centre back meets your eye? Which centre back are you flirting with?
Pacho at Frankfurt. He's very, very, very solid. Good price range. Young. Ecuadorian, I believe. Yeah. And there's some players coming out of that country at the moment that Estepinian at Brighton's another one. And there's a few others that are coming through their youth system that are turning into absolute talents at the moment. The only other slightly left field one, not a left-footed centre-back as such, but another one who I've watched a fair bit this season, and again last night, was Scalvini at Atalanta as well. I don't know what they do with their youth system, but producing a left-back like Ruggeri and then Scalvini at centre-back, that he's another one who I would invest in wisely, I think, because I think he is going to be an absolute world-class centre-back when he hits his prime.
Well, never give up. When you become that scout, you can also put your name forward to becoming left back and centre back for Liverpool. Tiny says Koopmeiners is obviously for a centre midfield option. Atalanta are one of those clubs that they've got the right structure in place. They've got the right. They're bringing people up properly, and they've come out of the woodwork in recent years, a bit like Leverkusen have. But Leverkusen have been producing these players for a while. They've been producing very, very good, talented players for a while. Havertz came from Leverkusen. You know, it's these clubs can always do it if the right structure's in place and the scouting's right as well with Atalanta. Yeah. Salzburg's a very, very perfect club for me, because I've kept an eye on Salzburg for a good 10, 15 years now. Salzburg, and have always produced very, very good footballs. unfortunately with them, they're always going to be a stepping club.
Yeah.
But, like the case of Mane came from there, Haaland came from there. They could spot a fucking good player early on. And Basel were like that as well. FC Basel were like that. Also, they had Salah early on as well, Basel. But they've been like that where they've had spotted very good talent. And I think in terms of Liverpool, in terms of the Premier League, Brighton have become that team now in the Premier League. Brighton's going to be like an Atalanta or Leverkusen. And I think Palace could be as well. Mente, are you sticking with Inacio, or are you going with Stewart's option, the Atalanta centre back?
I'd still go Lukeba. Lukeba's the one for me.
Lukeba's the one.
If it left-footed Lukeba, but for me, I saw someone said it in the chat. If it's not left-footed, there's Antoine Silva. There's Mathis Delight. There's a lot but that's I think a problem for next year. But it seems like they just want a left-footed center back. So I would have to say Lukeba's probably my favorite one up there. Or Pacho's good. Pacho's a great shout.
I thought I was being a bit ambitious saying Theo Hernandez with a left back, but if we are saying Fanzo Davis as well, centre back and left back, so it covers both. So that's does our ambition match that though, Mente? Do you think?
No, zero shot.
Well,
zero shot.
Right, going into my position I've been shouting for 3 years now. DM. We need a DM, and if we don't get a DM this summer, a class DM, not. Don't have to be a class DM now, but definitely want to potentially be a class. Then if we don't get a DM, then it's beyond neglect. And I'm sorry, it's down to the owners. It's because we don't want to pay up for a DM, because DMs are expensive at the moment, because DMs are such an important position and everyone wants one at the moment. That's the thing. But people will say, but last year the DM market was quiet. We saw 3-4 DMs leave for clubs. Zagati went to PSG early doors. Lavia left. Caicedo left. Rice was a DM at the point. He left. Yeah. These DMs were available. We just sat still like we always do. They're always available. And people say, but they'll have to pay 100 million. But if you get proper scouts, they'll find a DM around world football. There's no DMs around world football. Come on. How many people in the world? How many footballers in the world? That's the scouts' jobs. And people say, name a DM then, DM. I name a few, but then I can only go so far. I'm not a scout. I'm not going out there to watch, Ecuadorian League, second league for DM. You know what I'm saying? So there's definitely DMs out there. So there's no excuse to not get a DM. Ogate, Wyfet, Kone, or Doof says, Steve here, cool minus quality, works with slot. Bruno G, 90 million, get it done. Again, the ambition, never give up. I like your ambition, but we don't have that ambition, unfortunately. So I've got to be a bit more realistic with us.
He's got deep pockets.
Down. Go on, Stu. Sorry. He's
got deep pockets there. Never give up. Jesus.
He never gives up. That's why. Never gives up. So he's always succeeding whatever he does. The DMs I've got written down now: Manuel and Ogate, Florentino Luis, Aurelien Tchouameni. I've also written down, and it's a mad shout, but there was talks about him yesterday. Matt Wayford, and I've also wrote Ramiro Lavia down as well, because I know he went to Chelsea. We ruined him. He might as he did say no in the end, but we sort of messed him around. So I understood why he did say no. Ramiro Lavia is definitely a player that I'd still like to have a look at. And I think he would give us another chance if we went in with a bit more ambition and said, look, here's the money. We want you at our club. We showed that sort of ambition. Mente, who tickles your bum?
Ugarte. I think he'd be perfect for Liverpool. I know we missed out on him because, we don't have ambitious owners, but he just went to PSG for the money and it looks like he's not going to be used. So if we could get him, I say go for him. And I think he'll be perfect for us. And then if not, probably Varela from Porto, just because he's like a year younger than Ugarte. So those two would be my best. Ugarte for sure, top of my list.
Yeah. Again, he said there, though, Ugarte went at the start of summer, didn't he? So if we were ambitious enough, we'd have got our DM done early.
Yeah.
And Ugarte would have been an option.
Yeah.
It's the same with Caicedo. We've left it too late.
Way too late.
Yeah.
We started to come in. This £115 million came from nowhere. Like, John got it with arse and said, you know what I'm saying? Because he whacked his bum one day and fucking found £115 million. Oh, that'll do for Caicedo. Paul says is Gomez good enough to start centre back on R6? Gomez is very, very good at centre back, and he was very good at centre back. It just since the injury, he's not been a centre back. I think he's lost a yard of pace.
Yeah.
6 though, Paul.
The 6 shouldn't even be an option. Is that a joke?
if he's an option at 6 next year, I swear. He better not be an option at 6. I swear. How bad enough it took me out of this seeing McAllister at 6, knowing that he's better going forward. But Gomez 6, no chance. Give Atalanta €50 million for Edison. Edison's definitely another good shout.
That's who I was going to mention as well.
Edison,
I was going to mention him.
Is it just recency bias though, Edison? Obviously, Atalanta the top of the town right now.
No, since we lost to them, I've been watching him play. He's a very good player. Brazilian. He looks obviously he's not Fabinho, but he looks close to how Fabinho was, especially that game yesterday. He looked like he was everywhere. He looked like he reads the game well. He's very athletic, comfortable on the ball. Obviously, my first choice would be Ngate, but if you're looking at price, you might be able to get Emerson for a decent price. That would be my second choice.
Ngate is definitely up there. What about Tchouaméni? What would you think would have be ambitious enough to go?
I would love to get Tchouaméni, but I'm not mentioning him because, like I said, we don't move like that. So I'm not. That would be my first choice if we move like how big I'm supposed to move, but we're not going to. So that's why I didn't even mention Tchouaméni. I didn't even mention him. So
we like that. We like that shy guy, right? That's got lots of potential to meet like the girl of his dreams, but don't move like that. It's just too shy to move like that, aren't we? When it comes to transfers. Paul says Gatti flopped at PSG, but Paul, when people flop at certain clubs, it don't mean they're going to flop elsewhere. Havertz is a prime example at Arsenal this season. Is found a new spark. He was class at Leverkusen, went to Chelsea, found it difficult because Chelsea is difficult at the moment to find people's feet. We've seen that this season with Caicedo and others. But Agati may work at Liverpool. Lookman's another one. I said this morning about Lookman. He failed at another club, didn't get a chance, got a chance at Atlanta. And last night, he bagged a hat-trick in the European final. Basically carried the team last night.
All his finishes were class as well yesterday.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, especially that
players don't lose talent overnight. There's only one player I've seen lose talent overnight. That's Fernando Torres. Before we sold him,
yeah,
because he was like the best striker to one of the worst strikers I've ever seen in the space of like a week or something, 2 weeks. Edison looks close to the register. Romeo Lavia is injury prone. Thank God we didn't get him. I don't know if he is injury prone. I just had a bad look at Chelsea because he wasn't injury prone at Brighton. Sorry, not at Brighton, at Southampton. Sorry. So is he injury prone or is it just a bad luck season?
It's a similar situation to Bajcetic.
Yeah. Is he injury prone? Is Bajcetic injury prone because he's been out the season?
Yeah, it's just bad luck.
But this is what the thing is. I see it all the time. Liverpool fans will say it's one thing about one player because he plays for you, but then use different logic for a different player who doesn't play for you. It makes no sense. It's like, Nunez is better than Harry Kane, and then you'll see Jackson miss similar chance to Nunez, and they'll say, Jackson, what a waste of money that is. In the end, Jackson's actually scored more goals than Nunez. The logic needs to be consistent with everyone that you're talking about. I know people are biased towards Liverpool, but sometimes you can't be biased. You've got to be logical about things. If Romeo Lavia is deemed injury prone, then so should Bajcetic. Yeah. In the same logic, but I don't deem any of them injury prone. I think it's just a bad luck season for Lavia because he wasn't injury prone before. Gomez could do a DM job if he played, just played there. If I see Gomez at any point at DM, unless it's some sort of friendly,
I'm tired of
meaningless game, then I don't want to do it.
I'm tired of us playing players to do a job. No more doing job. Play players in the right position and you get the best from them. Than just doing job stuff. No.
I'd love to see how many times in the last 9 years of Jurgen Klopp, I'd love to see how many times we've had to make do with a player out of position. With the whole centre backs, with Anderson and Fabinho covering centre back for a while. Gomez has been doing it this season at left back. Maka had to do it at 6.
You had Milner at left back.
Boring now.
Yeah, you had Milner at left back.
I can let Milner go because he could play anyway. But it's just boring. We need players that can play their positions.
You're probably talking 3 seasons in total, like cumulative total. I was just trying to working out in my head. The amount of injuries we've had to play players, it probably totals up to about 3 seasons worth of matches.
And it is unlucky with the injuries, Stu, but we've also had to rely on injury-prone players to stay fit. Yeah. We've had to rely on luck more than actually being, common sense as well, Stu. Yeah. That's what it is. It's common sense. When you go into a season with three centre-backs and 2 of them injury-prone, what are you expecting to happen? You can't cry injuries. It makes 0 sense. Gomez cannot do the job, he says there. How about Edison from Atlanta? I think a lot of people said that, Edison. Callum Phillips is the one, guys. Reece, do you agree?
So you never give up just on the banner. He's on banner today. fully on the banner train.
If we move like him in the summer, honestly, we'd be sorted for next season. Red Zabby says Chew will cost that £155. Red Zabby, can I ask you a question? Did you name that Red Zabby a few months ago and forgot to change it? Or I don't know. What's going on there? 115 million, he says there for too many. João Neves at Benfica, possible. Never give up, bro. Phillips, have you seen him for West Ham? I think Phillips is a very, very good player. I think he just made a completely wrong choice, career move, going to City to be a backup.
Yeah.
It was an absolute worldie at Leeds. It was unbelievable. And I think he can be unbelievable. It was unbelievable for England for a bit, by the way, as well. When he came into the England side the first time, he was fantastic. But, again, players sometimes work out at some clubs and they don't work out others. They don't lose the talent overnight. That's all I'll say. Go out for Kimmich, said. Lavia, Pukey faces Latanya there. Klopp played Gomez at DME, was shocking. I think he played there just for a laugh, if I'm honest, that time. For half an hour or something. Do you guys remember Milner and Wijnaldum centre back? We don't talk about Wijnaldum in our chat anymore, guys, I'm afraid. It's now a banned word. And also, are we forgetting Bacecic again? But he's injury prone, isn't he, on some people? Guys, let me cook, says never give up. Kefren Turam, I wanted Kefren Turam last season just for a backup on the bench. Certainly, he would have kept people on the toes, Kefren Turam, and there'd be no drop-offs then. Archie Gray is definitely a shout for the wingers. We're going to go into forwards now, actually. And by the way, my guy for DM would be Ugarte because I wanted him last season. Turam when he would have been nice. I want mine. Florentino Luis.
He'd have been my shot.
But Manuel Ugarte is, for me, Luis, your shot then, Stu? Or anyone else?
He's a baller of a DM. He's got so many years ahead of him as well. So we should be going for somebody like him. That's the ambition.
That's what the ambition is, but that's how ambition is. Let's reword what you just said there. Right, forwards, boys. We spoke about left wingers earlier. Right wingers have been talked about as well because Luis Suarez there for some reason. Mo Salah could potentially be going next summer or this summer. Also, strikers is also an option because Nunez isn't picking up trees at the moment, not scoring goals. We've got a youngster, Jaden Danz, who looks unbelievable, by the way. I can't wait to see him properly and hopefully we transition him through into the strike position naturally and not throw everything on him on his young shoulders. And Jota's always injured, Stu. I'm going to tell you the 4 options I've written down. It spreads across the front lot. See what you think. So also Mohamed Kudus, David Lupas also put him in there as well. Mohamed Kudus, Anthony Gordon, Johan Bakayoko, Rafael Leao, and Takafusa Kubo. I haven't put any strikers on my list at the moment, but I'm specifically tagging wingers. But is there a striker that you want out there as well, or would you take any of those wingers?
I've seen a lot of chatter about Sechko at Leipzig.
Benjamin Sesko,
Yeah, that's who I would be throwing my hat at, or at least attempting it, because he's wanted by the likes of Arsenal and that. And as far as I'm concerned, if they want him, we should be looking at him. He's had a great,
very good. He's very good. Another one from Salzburg.
Salzburg product again, and he's had a very good season at Leipzig as well. So I don't see any reason why not. If we're thinking wingers wise, Bakayoko, Kudos, like you said, Kubo is another good choice. There's Jeremy Pino out of Villarreal. There's so many options. So many
Williams at Bilbao.
Yeah, again, another smash on. João Rego at Benfica.
Yep.
Is another shout, 18, 19 years old, who looks absolutely amazing. So there's plenty of options out there, which that's one thing that I don't think we're going to be short on picking out who could fill those like sort of front three slots, because there is that much talent out there at the moment. I think we'll be all right to pick up somebody very, very decent at a decent price as well.
I'm just going to throw this one out there because I know he's put Isaac and Kane, but Isaac would be unbelievable. And that would be ambitious. Spencer, do you agree?
Oh, yeah. Isaac is nice. He's like not a similar player to Darwin, because Darwin, makes those chaotic runs, creates chances, but Isaac is just so lethal. It's crazy. Like, imagine, I love Nunez. I rate Nunez. I don't think we're going to get a striker, but if we have to choose, he's Prem proven. You put him in our system, he's getting over 25 goals for a season. Easy.
Yeah,
I think nice. It suits Slot as well.
Perfect. Yeah, I hope. But, ambitious is a big word for FSG, so until they actually do it, I won't believe anything. So we'll see. And Sesco is also a great shout, too. He's a very good player.
Who else in your mind for wingers-wise? Any ones I've said or anyone else?
Kudos is a good shout. I doubt we'll get him because he's going to be over 85 million. Yeah, I mean, Kudos, Kubo. I don't know. I feel like we might get like Bakayoko. Knowing FSG, they always go for the cheaper alternative.
Well, I do like Bakayoko.
No, I don't mind him. I just think, for me, Dutch players, when they come to the Prem, I don't want to have a player that needs time to settle. We need a player that's going to be ready to come in, even if he's a sub for Salah. We need someone that's going to push Salah now. Yeah. He's never had competition for 7 years. When Salah's in bad form, put someone else in. I just need us to be a little bit more ruthless and have better standards. That's it. The power of friendship needs to go away. I don't want to be called the comeback kings anymore either. I want to be the dominating games.
We want to take the lead. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like that we concede every game and it's we blame the forwards and the fans start bashing the players. I don't want none of that. Let's just go out there, win, be a good team.
Do what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, do our jobs.
I saw when we were conceding first, everyone was blaming the defense, our defense was conceding first. But if the strikers score first, then
exactly.
Score first.
They took their 2 or 3 chances. Yeah,
well, it's both. It's both.
Both, yeah.
It's not just defense for that as well. If Isaac was in a Klopp team this season, we would have won the title. I think we would have done, even without
him or Tony, even Tony.
Yeah, someone said Tony.
Even him or Tony, you would have been putting the chances away.
And he's a Liverpool fan as well. So
obviously, I don't think we're going to get a striker, but if we were to sell Nunez or someone, those are the only 2 I'll be looking at, is Isak or Tony, because they're Prem proven as well, and they're clinical. They're not going to miss 5 or 6 chances, clear-cut chance in front of goal. They're going to put those away.
I'm looking at the options. I think Bakayoko and Kubo are the only 2 that I think that would do as Liverpool. But if I was ambitious, I'd be looking at... I'd even look at Ollie Watkins. I'm being deadly serious. Ollie Watkins offers much more than just goals as well. He's a proper link-up player. He's not Harry Kane, but he plays a bit like Harry Kane, and just as he's clinical. And we need someone like that. But I like Gordon. I like Rafael Leao. I really like Rafael Leao.
Yeah, I like Rafael Leao as well.
People put Leao's stats up saying, he scores. He doesn't score many goals. He doesn't assist. AC Man don't play like that. You got to watch the game. They play with a target man, Giroud, normally. They don't play to set up for the wingers to score. They set up to make sure that main man, target man, scores the goals. Rafael Leao is the one that causes the havoc. But it's not like Diaz is pulling goals out of his backside the way John Henry pulls £150 million out of his backside, is it? You know what I'm saying? So if we were placing someone like Torres, for example, for these people that have got poor stats, then fair enough. But we're not. We're placing people that are not scoring enough, and they're missing easy chances. So
I think that's the point at the end of the day. Liverpool fans now know, and they played the hand too early. FSG last season with Caicedo bidding that 120 odd million. We now know that the money is there.
You pressed send me a mistake, didn't you? You know, it's that one where you press send by mistake. And it's pressed undelivered, and it's already
unsend.
That's exactly what he's done.
Yeah, and now we know that the money is there. If they were prepared to spend 120 million on Caicedo last summer, we know that you guys should have at least 200 million. Now that we're back in the Champions League, to spend on transfers.
Don't forget Taylor Swift concerts. Don't forget Taylor Swift concerts.
Yeah.
Don't put everything into account here. And the thing is, right, what John Henry has done, essentially, has sent a naughty text to his mum. Next to his girlfriend, he sent it to his mum. And he's realised it was just a laughing joke. Like, it was meant to send it to Tom Werner, like, oh, for 150 million here. Shall I send it to him? So like a little joke. He's pressed Klopp instead. And Klopp seen it and said, hang on a second. You see Klopp that next day when he thought he was getting Caicedo, the kid was like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, like
he had that
kid in the sweet shop.
He was kissing himself with excitement.
So happy.
He jumped into that press conference. He don't like usually that press conference. He fucking jumped into that. He hopped into that press conference. He ran the way Charlie Chocolate Factory did with a golden ticket. And I honestly think John Henry, like Benji said, I think he's absolutely sold it. He's exposed himself there. Like, even the people that are proper FSG is like, where's the 115 million? Even they're saying, where's the 1,500 million? And where they're on your back, where's the 1,500 million? Then you know you've done something wrong there. You've really proper put yourself out there this summer, because that 150 million should be there plus more. Like I said, Champions League qualification, Taylor Swift concerts, more. Fourth most valuable club in the world. I'm not saying we have to spend 200 million, but it should be available if we need it. Yep. Jared Boyne says Shaq in there. Ideally, Bait Boyne says Oswald. Trouble as fans, we want PSG to shop for players at Waitrose, but end up shopping at Lidl. Hey, Lidl can be some fine good. Nice little bit.
You can find some bargains. You can.
Yeah.
I'm not dissing cheap shops because I've got to shop at cheap shops. I'm not going to. I can't shop at Waitrose, but you know what I'm saying. But sometimes there's bargains, but sometimes we do need to. With FSG, we shop at the food banks. So I'm not going to put that. I don't like that also, because I don't like people mocking food banks, especially with the way they put. I'm so sorry for bringing that up, but I've got to make sure we don't put anything like that in the chat. Kudus and Somerville says Tanya, Bakayoko isn't electric. We need Pace Elliott is quicker. Okay, we have zero FFP problems as well. We definitely do have it. That was FSG fake. We said Tony. We are meant to be looking at a striker from Union in Belgium. He is Algerian, I think. Isaac is so composed. If we had Isaac composed this season, we honestly would be definitely in a proper title race. FG can invest 250 million quad into the squad this summer and not break FFP. That's the thing, Steve, as well. They can do that. And we're not asking them to do that either, 150 million. But it just shows that they can do that, if that makes sense. So they've got a lot of leg room to work with, but they just won't even get. I saw the other day in our chat people laughing at my United having 35 million net spend. That's what we fucking have every season. What we laughing at my United for? Yeah. What we're laughing at my United for? Well, that's us. Again, different logic for different clubs because it's biased. Transfer kit probably 40 to 50 million plus money for sales. No. That's poor. That's very poor, Tony. And that's predictions, unfortunately. Boys, so roundup. I think from left back, I think we're all, in terms of majority vote, let's do a democracy here. We've got a general election coming up in the 4th of July in the UK. Let's do a general election democracy type here. I think we were sort of leaning towards Anthony Robinson in terms of democracy because of 2 against 2, 1-on-1. So Anthony Robinson by left back. Our centre back could possibly be, it's a tricky one, Inacio or Lukeba, you said, didn't you, Menti?
Yeah, Lukeba. I rate him a lot.
Reese, I'll let you decide and vote on that. Inacio or Lukeba?
I said Inacio. That's what I said originally.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Stu. Yeah, you said Inacio. Stu, you decide and vote on that then, please.
Yeah.
I'll say Inacio.
Inacio, so we agreed on Inacio on that. DM, I think we pretty much went Ugarte.
Yeah, we all agreed Ugarte, yeah.
And up front, it depends what you're looking at here. You're looking at FSG ambition or our ambition. I think FSG ambition, I think we're quite satisfied with someone like Bakayoko or Kubo. But our ambition, we want more like an Isaac, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh, that's a Leon.
Please.
Hey, if you don't have manners in life, you've been brought up absolutely wrong. You've got to have please sometimes. You've got to use your please and thank yous, kids. If your kids are watching this, by the way, make sure you use your please and thank yous. Jurgen Klopp tried it, but it didn't work. Eze's a good call to Tanya. Yeah, Alessia and Eze, very, very good players as well. And Palace are definitely getting Mateta's another good option in terms of the striker as well. Please make sure you get your likes and subscribe in the chat. Whether you're on Twitter, come to YouTube to watch our videos. We're getting more videos, more content out for you guys as well. Subscribe to the channel, like tonight's stream. Make sure you do join again at 7:30 tomorrow. I don't know what the chat's going to be. Probably more transfer news on players that we're not going to buy. But please just join in and get in the chat. I like a lot of people in chat. I like to bounce off you guys. And make sure you do keep with us this summer as well, because there's going to be, whether we buy enough players or not enough players, there's still going to be lots to talk about in the LC transfer room, and make sure you are here for it. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Reese, Mente, and Stu. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend, by the way, and hoping we have an easy summer coming up. No injuries in the Euros for us, and a nice transfer window as well. Good night, guys.